This video is about running the AV system at the Southampton Rotary Club. First thing you do is generally we get the podium out, put it in place, and we go back to the Sinclair room. We get the key if the cabinet for the amplifier is locked. I usually don't lock it though. Unlock it on both sides. Unclip both sides, and then you just lift it. It slides off and put it under the table. In the bottom cabinet, you sort of push down, and all the mics, batteries are in there. This is the old handheld mic. We now have a new one that works the same way. We take the batteries out of it each time, because they draw power even when they're not on. So you clip the batteries in, be sure to put them in the right way, have your glasses on. Put it back in. And the extra batteries are right there. We tend to go through a lot of batteries with that old wireless mic. These are the two corded mics that we'll be using too. I usually put the wireless mic up there. We'll put the new wireless up there when we get it. The cords for the wired mics are on top of the system. This one can go into channel 4. And this one will be placed on the nearest table for people to speak. So I guess the most easterly table. You just clip the cord in. This one here is for the other side of the table. Clip it into that wall jack and place it there. We might have holders for those eventually for the mics, but right now we're just laying them on the tables. This is the wireless mic for the president or guest speaker. Again, we take the batteries out of that. You just push down those tabs to put the batteries in. Each time we use them, we take the batteries out and put them back in, just to save battery life. And it clips back in, and then and you can turn the system on with those two buttons. There's a little button to turn on the wireless.
Check, check, check.
And you can test it. And you
check,
can
check,
test
check,
your other mics
check.
As well. Make sure the levels are good.
Check.
This one here, you have to push the old wireless. You have to push it in until you see the display.
Check.
Give it a
check.
test.
Check.
All the levels are here. So you've got the wall mic, the far one. You've got the handheld, which is at the podium. You've got the headset for the president or the guest speaker. And you've got that fourth mic that is at the nearest table. Next step is to get the computer out, and we keep it right there in the Sinclair room, the ante-room to the Sinclair room. We use a wireless mouse, and that's important. We have this little splitter, and that little doohickey is what makes the wireless mouse work, so make sure it's in there. We need to plug in because the battery is kind of pooched on that laptop already, so you need power from the wall. It plugs in on the far side there, and then plug in our little splitter, turn on the computer. This is the HDMI cable which projects to the TV. This is for the camera that's mounted up on the wall. This is for the audio, and that can go in the other side. We have 3 USB ports. And finally, this thing is the field mic, which allows people to hear what's going on in the room as well as what's coming out of the mics. So all 3 ports are used, and then we have a splitter to divide one port. I usually use something to hold the field mic. Eventually we'll get a longer USB cable for that so we can put it right up in the middle of the tables. Right now I'm using that. Turn on the wireless mouse. The computer password is 1938. You can click up on the upper right. Here you can see how the room's set up and move the room if need be. Then you click on your Zoom, and your Zoom link will usually be there for you to click, or you could start a new meeting. Remote for the TV, and an extra HDMI cable in case we have something to plug in through that. Then we get the stand that we put a phone into, and it's just somebody's phone that we pick up, and we put it on a Zoom call so that we have a close-up on the speaker. The zoom out is the level that the people will hear on the Zoom call. One problem we've had is we have sound to the Zoom call and we don't have sound to the room itself. And one thing you have to watch for, go into where the volume setting is at the bottom, right click on that and look for where the sound is being projected. And you need to click speakers, a USB audio codec, and that will put the sound through the USB cable to our amplifier. If you're running a PowerPoint, be sure to click share sound so that the people on the Zoom call will hear the sound. And you just go from the beginning, and that'll take you through your slideshow, and it will project onto the screen. When you're done, you click stop share. Same thing for any videos that you play. Got to make sure there's sound to the room and sound to the Zoomers. Same idea, same principle as a PowerPoint.
Hi,
So
my
you
name is
drop.
From the Southampton Rotary Club. I've been with the club for almost 8 years.
One thing you might notice is you might be hearing a little voice inside the bag, and that is the Bluetooth speaker that we used to use for sound, and it just turns on whenever the computer turns on, so you might have to turn it off. It's a little bit annoying. And then turn your TV off, leave the remote on the table in case the scouts need to use it. Turn off both buttons on the amplifier. Try to wind up the cords fairly neatly. You just push that little button and to pull out the jacks. We put the cords, wound up cords on top of the amplifier. Take the batteries out of the wireless headset. Put it back in its case without crimping any of the wires too badly. When you're pulling that out, make sure to push the button before you pull it out of the wall so you don't wreck the cord. There's a little Velcro thing to help you keep your cords neater. You can use that and make it a little easier when you take it apart. And then take apart all your peripherals. Turn off the power to your wireless mouse. Put all your peripherals back in the bag. Shut down the computer, if I didn't say that already. And then the computer goes back in its spot. Make sure to turn off the wireless mic. Put the cover back on the amplifier, the sound system. clip it down. Wouldn't worry about locking it, but if you feel so inclined, you can lock it. And if you do so, make sure to put the key back in where we have all our keys in this ante room to the Sinclair room. Put away the podium. Watch, there's a wheel that likes to fall off on that little cart. If it does, put it back on. And anything else that needs to go away, and then you're done.